Rob, sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I look at myself in the mirror and I think, wow, you are a plain dude. Your sense of adventure is just lacking. You look out the window and you look into the distance, you see some things, some clouds, some trees. You just ever wonder what's out there?
I did all the time. My whole young adult life was spent hoping I would leave and go on an adventure.
Do you think sometimes that you wish you had a passport to see the world, but then you're like, shit, like that's expensive?
Every day.
Well, what if I told you there's a different kind of passport out there in the world that actually brings you more joy, I would think, and is completely within budget of anybody?
If you told me that, I would say, tell me more now.
Well, I'll tell you what, Rob, you can do that because our friends at Hot Passport want you to spice up that adventurous life of yours, that desire, that need to travel the great state of Wisconsin or whatever state you happen to be living in at this time. And you can do that with a Hot Passport. All you have to do is go to hotpassport.com and find it. Available in, I believe, 14 different states.
Will they stamp it?
They will stamp it. What it is, it's a nice little passport.
Proof of my adventure?
There's pages, and it's going to bring you to different breweries across your state, and it even gives you an opportunity to go out of your state, like the fine folks in Wisconsin have the opportunity to go to Minnesota and visit some of those breweries. They're going to bring you to different breweries, is essentially what I'm telling you. And they're going to give you drink deals. You go up to the barkeep and you go, barkeep, here's my Hot Passport. I would like my 2-for-1 or half off, whichever one is allowed in that particular state. And they're going to be like, holy buckets, dude. You are probably the happiest dude or dudette or whatever you want to be called around because you have one of these. Most people don't. And you're a fool if you don't have one. So look at all these other fools surrounding you. You are the only person who's not a fool. I'm stamping it.
I can't speak for them, but I think based on what this sounds like, and it sounds amazing, if I was a bartender and somebody came up to me with a Hot Passport, I would say, I'm serving you first over all these other people. And would I save money with this Hot Passport? You
save money because you're getting either half price off your beers or buy one get one, and that's on your first two. And then what you're gonna do is when you go to check it out, hotpassport.com, pick your state, buy one for a gift, buy one for yourself, buy one for the stranger down the street. You're gonna buy it, and then you're gonna go to checkout, and you're gonna use promo code Dudes with Brews. 3 words. Dudes with Brews. Save $5 whole.
Well, I can't wait to start drinking, start making memories, and save money while I do it.
Damn right. Dude. Craft Brews and Casual Conversations. My name is Drew. With me, as always, is the one and only Robert. Or Robert.
Hello.
Depending on what country you're in, it's Robert or
Roberto.
I think that's it. We're drinking an IPA again. This is Dudes with Brews on a porch.
It's a little different, though.
Looks like it's time to dive into another great beverage. It's Dudes with Brews on a porch. Let's check in with our friend Drew for this week's episode. Who will he talk to? What will they talk about? And what will they drink? What are you waiting for? Get your ass off the lawn and come onto the porch. It's Dudes with Brews.
This IPA is a little different, Robert, because it's a very special IPA. I'm going to talk about it a little bit. We are drinking PineappleMango IPA from the Brewing Project, and this is out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. This is kind of a hard to find beer to come by, or at least it used to be. Maybe it's getting a little more distribution out there, but still not that easy to find. I found it at a meat market.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why were you at a meat market? Can I ask you that?
Looking for beer, because I knew this particular meat market has.
You don't have to hide from your viewers. What were you doing?
Well, I like beef sticks and stuff. You know, okay. Straight up looking for beers. But the Brewing Project is a pretty cool thing. It's actually a very independent brewery, and I've heard a little bit about it before from my friend Casey, and they have a pretty good story. But before that, let's describe this beer. It says "Get Yo Summer On," so it's definitely like a summerish kind of
Can
beer.
I read it this time?
Sure.
No, I'm not going to do that. You read it. I'll read it. No, you read it. You read it. You read it. You go.
A goofy IPA brewed with a boatload of hops, pineapple juice, mango puree, hibiscus, and lemon zest, orange zest, and lemongrass. It is 6.5 ABVs, and I am given no IBUs recording, but I would say, it's going to have some little bitterness to it because it is an IPA. So
yeah, this is weird because I normally use lemon zest to wash my body, not to put in my beer, but
well, it's going to wash the inside of your body this time around. The Brewing Project, yeah, like I said, is a pretty cool thing. Started in May of 2013. It faced more adversity than most businesses will go through in their life cycle before it could legally open. So after signing a lease on what was the original brewery's location, a partisan gridlock brought the federal government to a screeching halt in the fall of 2013. The shutdown caused a backlog with the processing of applications that resulted in a 3-month delay due to the terms of the original lease. They had to be in operation on April 1st, 2014. So because the project could not legally operate, the lease expired and the brewery was homeless. Very sad.
yes.
After a mad scramble and touring practically every commercial building in Eau Claire, a new application was sent for approval, and now at their current location is at 2000 North Oxford Avenue in downtown Eau Claire. Eau Claire, from where we are, is very far away. It's a solid, I think, 3-hour or more drive. Pretty sure.
Yeah, well.
It's far. But,
Do you need a passport to get there?
I don't know if they're on there, but yeah, maybe.
A hot passport, I think.
Just might. But, yeah, they've battled a lot of things with ownership, management, contract terms. Finally granted its state permit nearly 2 years after it was originally started, and it's a pretty popular beer. It sells out very quickly in various locations, but it's the Brewing Project stubbornly crafted beer from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Let's talk about it a little bit. It's it's thick. You can't really see through it. It's an unfiltered beer.
I have more puree in mine than you do in yours.
Maybe because my glass is a little bigger. You notice it more.
Well, I just spun mine. I was trying to stir it a little bit, but I had a solid little settlement down there.
Like immigrants. It smells like pineapple.
Oh, I haven't smelled it yet.
Well, smell it. Get nose deep in that baby.
Yeah, you get the mango pineapple smell for sure.
Yeah.
Very festive.
Very cloudy. Let's give it a taste, shall we?
I just want to smell it all day. It smells really good.
Tastes even better. You get the lemon zest. You get the pineapple. You get the mango.
Yeah, that zest is up front, and then the fruit comes in an after.
Not too bitter.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's a little bitter right away, but then it gives way to that fruity flavor.
With the boatloads of hops, you would expect more hoppy taste, but I'd say it's a perfect blend, honestly.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the chunks yet, but it's not really chunks. It's just a puree.
Mm-hmm.
I want to stir it. Do you have a stir stick?
Mm-mm. I don't.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Way to be professional. Who doesn't have a beer stir stick? Come on.
I don't think those are a thing. That's good, though.
It is good.
I like it. And for an IPA, you think it's all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually been, maybe, I don't know if it's that you're just picking good beers or if my palate is becoming more...
immune?
Yeah, I mean, because I've been appearing on the podcast quite a few times, and so I've been drinking more beer than I normally do.
19 times, you said?
Yeah, 19. Yep.
I feel like it's more.
I feel like egotistical that I counted.
So I did like 50 some episodes without you. That's weird.
Well, you don't put it in like I had to click on the descriptions because I don't always remember what the some of the titles are obscure.
Yeah, I gotta work on the titles, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, I like them, but they're still obscure.
Speaking of being egotistical, I have a question for you. You know,
I definitely have an answer, and it's the right answer.
You know that song where they say, "You're so vain, you probably think the song is about you."
Yep.
The song is about them.
No, it's about me.
But you know what I mean? Like, they probably think the song is about them because it is about them. So is he still vain?
Well, it depends on it. She could be singing about all of her. It might not just be about one person.
But if it's about more than one person, odds are it's probably about them then. If they came across this person and
actually, it's funny that you
established
say
a
that, 'cause
relationship.
I have actually thought about this because it comes on the radio still quite a bit, and it's like if you don't think that if you're not vain enough to think that the song is about you, if you say you dated Blondie, I think it is, right?
I have no idea who sings that song.
Whoever, the lady that sings the song. If you dated her and you're like, oh, that song's not about me, it must be about some other dick boyfriend, then
Maybe you're not so vain.
Yeah, then it's probably not about you. But if you are vain enough to go, oh, I bet you that song's... So it has to be about the person that thinks that it's about them.
So then are they really that vain, though?
It's a conundrum. Yeah, well, that's the thing, is if they're not that vain, then the song can't be about them. But if they are, then it is about them. Who knows? I don't know.
It's interesting.
She doesn't really. I guess the lyrics aren't "You're so vain, you probably think the song is about you," but
Brian.
it's fucking not. Get over yourself.
Yeah,
it's literally just you probably think the song is about you. So from there, she never comes out and says it's not about them.
Hey,
She
Brian,
says, you probably do
you're
think
vain.
it's about you. Yeah.
Huh? I don't know. That's just a question I thought of.
And that's all we have for the podcast.
11 minutes.
Yeah, we're good.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Yes. Okay. I don't really have a topic this week. You kind of brought up something that we've thought about doing, and it's very in the early stages, as in we've only talked about it today.
Don't give away the secret. Somebody will steal it.
Okay, I won't say it then.
No, I don't.
We're bouncing ideas for a second podcast
where
it would be your podcast.
Well, I think I'd be co-hosting. Can we do it on my laptop?
I'd want to use my mics and stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. What, you don't like my mic?
No, I don't.
Fair.
I'm sorry.
You never used it because you've never been on my podcast, but whatever.
I've used one before.
Not mine.
I did the same model, the same thing.
I tweaked it.
You tweaked it?
Yeah, I put some of my
Styrofoam or something?
my Rob juice on there.
Oh,
made it good.
Made it good. Well, okay. Anything new happening in your life? Anything exciting? I'm excited. I want to thank all the people that bought a hot passport because
that's
people
amazing.
have actually done it.
Yeah.
And used that promo code. And it's pretty sweet. It makes me excited. Like
I was excited for you when you told me that. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, when I got the message and I looked at some of the other things, I was like, holy buckets, people are actually using it, and I'm helping this independent business out.
Yeah, it's great to get a little validation. Maybe not validation, but at least a little feedback or whatever. Am I too close and far? Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I would, my wife is sitting next to me. She doesn't give me a lot of validation, doesn't tell me I'm pretty and things like that. So it was good to sell these hot passports for this guy. I'm just kidding. She tells me I'm pretty. And I feel good about the other thing too.
Yeah, that's good. You are pretty. But I mean, even that letter that you got, that was pretty. That made me feel good, and that's good to give feedback. So give Drew some feedback.
Jonathan
give him a little
from Finland.
Yeah, Finland.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Finland.
amazing to me that there's somebody in Finland that that
has no access to any probably none of the beers that we drink.
But even you're the guy that you interviewed from Australia. It's like, I mean, for you, it's got to be crazy to know.
I'm fucking worldwide, dude.
Yeah, there's people all over the place that know who Drew is.
Know who I am, understand the sound of my voice, and they're like, there he is.
And you don't really, I mean, you're honest about you're not. I mean, this isn't a character you do. So it's like you're putting that out into the world, and people are going, "We like you, Drew."
I might embellish a little bit from here and there.
Well, that really is disconcerting to me.
Yeah. Originally, when I said, "Do you have anything you want to talk about?" You said you want to talk about David Duchovny.
Yes.
So I recently stumbled on his Twitter because let's face it, David Duchovny is in his 60s.
I know,
the
insane.
dude is in immaculate shape.
People say Cindy Crawford is ageless. Look at David Duchovny.
The dude is he's just, as you put it, a dreamboat.
Yeah, he is a dreamboat. He's my dreamboat.
And
you can't have him. None of you.
He had his problems in life, but he's overcome them. He's excuse me. Recently,
was that part of the embellishment?
No, I really did burp.
That was a real burp.
He got divorced kind of recently, didn't he?
See, I haven't kept
from that actress who was in that Tower movie with Ben Stiller and Michael Caine. What's that one called? Tower Heist. I didn't think it was that good.
Didn't see it. You know, do you remember the episode of X-Files called 3 with the vampires?
No, you know, X-Files used to be on Netflix. The whole series.
I was so angry about that.
I don't think it is anymore. I never really got that far into it because no one else wanted to watch it with me. That was the problem.
I'll rewatch it. If I had money, I would buy every season. I only have season 2 right now.
You think it's on Hulu?
Maybe. The only place I know of that you can get it is, you can get it on the Xbox app, but it costs money.
Does it? Okay. Well, that's something we can look into. I've watched the first season in its entirety, and there's some good episodes. Season. Yeah, we can watch it.
I'm 20 episodes into it. I just started 2 days ago.
Those are hour-long episodes, too.
Seriously, I'm like been binging it big time. And I've seen it so many times because that's the only season I have on DVD.
I think he started acting in like that softcore like adult
The Red Shoe
Diaries. Yeah.
And it was like like a Cinemax type thing. He's a stage actor too. He did stage in New York.
He's in a band right now. He's a touring musician doing shows for, I think it's a Hell or High Water.
The guy he's a quadruple threat. He's a singer, he's an actor, he's beautiful, and a singer again because he's just that good. And that's a Larry Sanders joke. I'm not going to take credit for that, but he was on Larry Sanders as this is what's insane to me and why I like David Duchovny so much is because while he's doing X-Files, he's also doing an obscure role on Larry Sanders, a recurring role where he plays himself, and it was his idea, I think, where he said, like, I feel like I have a crush on Larry, like a man crush.
Sure.
So, like, he and it's like, so he like Gary Shandling is Larry Sanders, and it's, I don't know, you got to see it, it's hilarious. But then at the same time, then he goes and does a role on Twin Peaks where he's a transgender FBI agent.
Man, before there was even like #woke.
Yeah, I mean this is before. I mean this
is when these fuckers were sleeping and they ain't woke.
He is. Yeah. He was not asleep.
Is that a good joke? Oh,
I saw her. She smiled. She chuckled.
Give it a little.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like he's got his finger on the pulse of society.
Yeah.
He
talking to the microphone.
Yeah. You know, I listened to these episodes where you said that I was making, and it didn't. What am I making more work for you later?
It's called post-production.
Yeah. Well, you get paid for this. Oh,
no,
right?
Don't.
No. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, no, it's like he just like to see somebody do like these weird obscure roles that other people might be uncomfortable with. Right. I that's what I love about him.
He overcame sex addiction.
Addition or addiction?
Both.
Yeah,
addiction.
I think it starts with addiction.
And then he overcame, I don't think he drinks or Or does?
No, I think he's sober now.
I think he's been sober for a while.
Do you think he got sober because he would when you like if you have sex addiction, I would imagine that doing any like drinking would be like, okay, now you're
Drinking to go do it.
Well, like yeah, it inhibits your your decision making process. But then when you do other drugs, it's like, oh, I want to do drugs or I want to have sex on this drug because it's gonna feel better.
Maybe it's possible. That's a question we can answer.
Or do you think you just had a problem with addiction in general?
Probably all of it. Probably all of what you just said.
Well, David, if you could come on the show,
we'll drink a coffee. We'll drink coffee.
Yeah, Drew will drink coffee. I will sit in the corner and just salivate. Yeah, I don't.
What's wrong with your friend over
talk.
there?
I know.
Rob, he usually talks, but
I might have my pants off.
I mean, he's done all these things. Of course, Evolution was a big movie for him. I think I was kind of introduced to him later in the X-Files. My mom really got into the X-Files like real late in the series. I kind of got into it, not really. This is before I was really into like paranormal and aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
But and my interest might have began with that. But I really first fell in love with David Duchovny in Californication, which is one of my all-time favorite shows, and we've talked about it a little bit before on the podcast.
Yep.
And I think Hank Moody, in a sense, is kind of a reincarnated David Duchovny in some regards. It sounds like.
I think more that David Duchovny is one of those actors that brings himself into his roles, and he's a writer and director as well. Mm-hmm. So when you like. Even Mulder there was like all these jokes running throughout X-Files about him having porn in his desk or crawling prostitutes or whatever. Like it's seriously like it's a runner. The sex addict thing is a runner from throughout his entire career, and so he can make fun of himself. I mean, you gotta love a guy that can make fun of himself, and especially in the way that David Duchovny does. But
I've never seen the Larry Sanders Show. I hear a lot of good things about it.
It's great. It's hilarious. Big Gary Shandling fan, but
passed away a little too early. He wasn't that old.
No, he wasn't. But he went through some stuff where somebody like his business manager stole a bunch of money from him, and then he got paranoid that his phones were being tapped, and everybody said you're being paranoid, and then he found out that somebody like after he died, I think somebody
actually did.
There was a private investigator that actually tapped his phones. Yeah, so he was right.
Damn.
And I actually think about that a lot when like when somebody's like telling me a story that like they're so convinced of and it seems very unbelievable or whatever. It's like I try and think about like, okay, there's things that I might not understand and like you want to go, you're just crazy and you need to like stop it or whatever. But it's like sometimes those things do turn out to be true,
Nuts. Well, but David Duchovny. Let's
back to David Duchovny. Like the other thing too is even so like some people might say, oh, he took that role on Larry Sanders and on Twin Peaks because he was still relatively young in the acting game and he was just taking what he could get. I mean, when he did Larry Sanders, X-Files was already starting to get big. They were not quite what the powerhouse that they became, but the evidence to the contrary of that is things like Zoolander. He showed up to Zoolander to play this crazy, like, obscure part of a hand model that was hilarious. And the best part of that movie, in my opinion, was David Duchovny.
I haven't seen that movie in a very long time. Zoolander.
He's done so. Like, did you ever see like the TV set? He did do a bunch of movies in between, like throughout. With Evolution, Zoolander. But he was the head of the cast for Things We Lost in the Fire, the TV set.
Jeez, you really know a lot about him.
What is this? I bought a bunch of these movies back when, and they are really good movies. But they're not like blockbuster movies. But the TV set was hilarious. It was about David, like not David Duchovny, his character. I don't know what his character's name was, but he wrote a TV show. It was supposed to be kind of a tragedy drama, and the network Sigourney Weaver. She was like the evil network person.
Okay.
And she came in and like made it like, oh, we're gonna take this bad actor you don't like and make it into a comedy. And
Judy Greer's in that movie. Well, I'm also a big fan of Judy Greer.
Jason Schwartzman was in that movie as well. Yeah, I like Judy Greer. You know, she's sisters with
David Allen Greer?
No,
David Allen Green
no,
or
it's
something
like
like that.
Jane Krasowski or
I don't know who that is.
She's on the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
Oh, okay.
The blonde, the Kimmy Schmidt works for.
Okay.
Yeah, it's I forget what.
Oh, the girl from 30 Rock?
Yeah, I think she was on 30 Rock too, but so that's her sister.
Oh, okay. Judy Greer also in Californication. Also in the TV set with David Duchovny.
Arrested Development.
She's in Arrested Development. She's in the True TV's I'm Sorry. Have you ever watched that show? Very funny. Very funny. Andrea Savage is a savage, and it's awesome.
I'll have to check that out.
Savage in like a non-derogatory way.
Gotcha.
You know, that's a cool word to say now. That's what the kids say.
Savage?
Yeah. Oh my God, he was a voice in Area 51, the video game from 2005. I remember that game. Holy buckets. Well, that makes me love him even more. He's also in a movie called House of D.
This is the thing.
I like to think my wife lives in a House of D. Because my name's Drew. Starts with a D.
Yeah, well, you got her mind.
I wonder if I really hope my dick jokes don't like turn people off and like think I'm like some misogynist or something. I just, comedy comes in all shapes and sizes, and I just try to provide it in every regard I can.
Yep. I think people see that and appreciate it. Well, my favorite thing, this is my all-time favorite thing about David Duchovny, is the more you learn, the more you love.
He was in Beethoven.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. 1992.
And I know the scene.
He's pulled under the table.
He's pulled, like across the lawn or something, too. Like, it's a crazy, that was like his first big on-screen acting thing.
That is pretty wild. You know that David Duchovny also has a bachelor's in English? I think he might even have a master's in English.
No, yeah, I think he has a master's now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
he could be a professor.
Yeah, he is
a professor. I think he's taught before. I believe so.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Moody did, so.
Right. Oh, yeah, he did. I want to say, though, one of the X-Files movies is not that good.
Yeah, but that was writing. That wasn't David's fault.
Well, his performance is immaculate. It's amazing. I think it's X-Files I Want to Believe. That movie sucked. Was not good.
I watched it through rose-colored glasses, and I always will. Because I'm such an X-Files fan that I will, just because it's X-Files and I love the characters, I hear all of you yelling at me and I hear all of you hating me because I'm going to say this, but I do enjoy it all. I'll watch it over and over.
Yeah.
I won't watch it on its own. I won't go, I just want to watch that movie because I want to watch it, but when you watch X-Files all the way through, you've got to watch the movies in certain areas.
Yeah, for sure.
They coincide with the story. So
that would be a cool thing to do.
Kumail Nanjiani started that with the X-Files files, and then he got super famous and decided to stop.
Too good for it.
Yeah, and then he got too good for it. But
you know what, Kumail? We're not super famous.
Yeah. And we've got time-ish. I've got time. I've got plenty of time. Like I said, I watched the whole second season in 2 days.
You ever watch The Joneses, which is actually a really interesting and good movie?
No.
It's his family, the Joneses, the Joneses. They're this like rich family.
Johnsons?
The Joneses. Demi Moore is in that movie as well. He plays. So it's this family that moves into like a rich suburb, and they always have top of the line shit.
Yep, I do know this movie. Okay,
I
had not seen it, but I do know what it is.
They have top of the line shit, and turns out
they're like an advertising family.
They're like an advertising family that's like subconsciously like
we talked about this on the show. I think at one point.
Yeah, we probably
because I brought up the Community episode where that guy comes in and he's like Subway. He's like a paid ad. His whole life is an advertising campaign.
I'm impressed that you remember what we talked about because half the time I don't even know what we talked about. I probably repeated a lot of things on this program.
I just went through. I kind of binged your show the other day at work.
Thanks.
I just set it up and listened to like
pumping the numbers.
5 episodes in a row, and 3 of them were mine.
Are any of them good?
Yeah, they're great. I laugh. I cry. I do somersaults.
It's been a while since I've done a somersault. But I think I need to kind of get into this X-File groove. And he even played Fox Mulder on an episode of The Simpsons. He was in Frasier, one episode of Frasier in 1996. Played a guy named Tom. He was Duckman. He was Richard in Duckman for one episode.
I have not gotten to because I'm on season 5 of Frasier. I've watched that from the beginning.
Is it good?
I love Frasier. Yeah.
Okay.
But it gets, as soon as Niles gets what he's been desiring for the whole season or the whole run of the show, that's when I stopped watching it. And I won't ruin it, but I got to the episode where like this thing that they built up to for 5 seasons happened. And I was like, it changes the whole dynamic of the show.
Okay. Yeah.
It's why Ross and Rachel couldn't just get together and stay together.
It's like how Winnie Cooper and Kevin never got married in the end.
Is that how that ended?
Yeah.
It wasn't a suicide?
Huh?
I thought that he like died at the end.
No, I don't. Somebody died. I think his dad died.
Oh, well, I don't remember.
But like at the end, like he talks about it. It's just like a narration. It's Daniel Stern. It's kind of interesting how like
how could he die? He was narrating it from a
it's like Fred Savage somehow turned into Daniel Stern, and kind of like Ted Mosby turned into fucking Bob Saget.
Yeah, right.
Interesting concept. But anyways, yeah. I'm fairly certain
Zach Braff turned into Zach Braff. At the end
that
of the
makes
day.
sense.
Yes.
Because he was already well, I can see like the difference with the Wonder Years because he started as a kid.
Yeah, yep.
Whereas
from 30 to 50 apparently you change into a completely different person.
your cadence of your voice is just absolutely different.
Yeah.
I know people's voices do change even into like, all the time. Like people sound different, but you just don't turn into Bob Saget.
Yeah. No. Although
I'd like
my name it can be Bob, and things do start to. Never mind. I'm not going to go down that road.
Oh boy! Could you imagine if it was like Ted Mosby and like Gilbert Gottfried was the the narrator?
I like that.
Kids, let me tell you.
That is a horrible.
In my head, I thought I could do it.
That's why I don't do impressions.
Tell you.
Yeah,
that sounds like a nagging grandmother.
It's like
it's like Smeagol's grandma.
Smeagol's grandma. I was trying to figure out the
Give me the precious stupid habits.
I wish I could do a Gilbert Gottfried impression, but I'm not even going to try because what you just did is what I will end up doing.
He was on Bumping Mics, the Netflix show with David Tell and Jeff Ross.
Okay.
It's like a 3-part series. It's really good. It's really funny. And Gilbert Gottfried
he's hilarious, but
he's fucking really funny.
He got put into like that category with like Bobcat Goldthwait, where it's like remembered for their voice, but their material is hilarious.
I think Bobcat has changed that.
Yeah, I think he has too, but I don't think a lot of people don't know it.
He's pretty fucking cool.
Oh yeah, he's great, and he's hilarious. He's smart. He's super smart, dude.
But enough about them. We're on David Duchovny. Goddammit.
I mean, none of them hold a candle to David Duchovny, and this is obvious. David Duchovny also very good at basketball. I know he's tall,
is he?
But yeah, he used to play in the Gary Shandling weekly game with Sarah Silverman and many other actors.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think? I think the law. I don't know what the laws are with podcasts. Like, can you play 30 seconds of a song?
Yes.
You don't know that.
Yes, you can.
You can.
You can do it. You can do it.
You can play 30 seconds of a song even if you're selling something, but you're not selling anything, so I don't think it actually.
Hot passports. I'm not selling them. I'm making money.
No, you're not selling your podcast though, so you're not making money off of the thing.
Yeah. Hell or high water.
So we're gonna play David Duchovny's band here.
Oh no, that was the name of his shit. That was the name of one of his
testicles.
No, one of the name of his album. Fuck, what's his band called?
Testicles.
Shit.
I'm just gonna keep saying testicles until
why are you
it
saying
works
testicles?
Somewhere. Hell or High Water. That's a great name for a testicle.
Oh, maybe it's just David Duchovny. I guess so, huh? Hell or High Water is the name of a song. It's straight up. David Duchovny. Well,
when you got a name like David Duchovny, why change it? You know,
right, when you already have that.
Yeah, you don't want to bury that lead, you know? Because that's a hell of a lead. You get up on stage, bless you. Bless you.
Hopefully he starts singing in 30 seconds.
You can play more than 30 seconds because you don't make...
If you knew me, you would stay.
Wow.
If you knew me, you would walk away.
He's touring right now.
We don't get black and white.
That's David Duchovny's golden vocals.
Shadow light.
Can you just be quiet for a second? I'm transfixed. I love it.
It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm not joking. I'm going to listen to this whole album later.
One year's golden and the next one blows.
The aliens are coming. You know I want to believe.
That was a good little addition. But yeah, he's got a...
I'm not making fun of you, David.
He had an
I love
album
you.
come out in 2018, dude, February 9th, almost a year ago, called Every Third Thought.
I'm seriously, I'm gonna listen
Isn't
to
that
more
crazy?
of that because it sounded good.
The dude, like, you know, you get all these actors out there that are like, yeah, I started on the fucking Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. I think I can sing. And then some of them, like Ariana Grande, she can sing. She is a really good singer. Not my type of tunes, even though I like the song Break Free. It's pretty good. That Thank You Next song is stupid as fuck. But anyways, that's just my opinion. But there's a lot of people out there that like that think they can sing. Because they're famous.
Just like Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, David Hasselhoff, like these people made these albums that think they're good.
They're literally only making it on the strength of
their name,
like because people, whatever. But no, I actually really do. And I'll be the first one to admit if I didn't like his voice, hey, stick to acting, David. But
yeah. But you're a good singer.
Yeah.
And he plays guitar.
That didn't even sound like him.
You got good pipes.
Yeah, he knew he can.
I've sang.
He can bring it, and I think if he was a fucking plumber, he would bring it.
He would clear your pipes so good. You got clogged in there. You got a fucking rattlesnake in your drain. You know what? He would go in there just bare hands, no gloves. He would grab that son of a bitch and he would put him back outside.
Yeah,
and then the snake would actually apologize to David Duchovny.
Yeah, and if your normal plumber gives you a quarter ass crack, he's gonna give you half.
You think Chuck Norris is important?
Yeah,
fuck that. David
break your
Duchovny
toilet.
a million times more better.
Yeah,
than fucking Chuck Norris.
Fuck Chuck Norris.
Fucking Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris's middle name is I wish I was David Duchovny.
That's a good one. Did you know that I actually was like a singer? Like I was in chorus for many years. I was in an award-winning choir. That's a fact.
Nice. That is great.
Yeah, I know.
Do you want to know a fact about me?
Yeah, you like MeUndies?
No, I got kicked out of chorus. I got asked to leave chorus. Politely asked to leave.
Why?
Chorus.
I had some terrible singers in our choir, and they stuck around because they're like, damn it, we're about being inclusive.
Supposed to be an easy credit.
Did you show up? Did you try?
No. That's why I got asked to leave, is because she knew that I was very self-conscious about my voice, about everything about myself.
You're in a group of people.
I would just say watermelon over and over again without making any noise, because I heard that watermelon looks like any word.
Watermelon, huh?
That's just what I heard.
Watermelon. Does it look different? So I'm going to mouth watermelon, and then I'm going to mouth watermelon, and you tell me which one's which, all right?
Okay.
Here we go.
That was watermelon.
Yeah. Wow, that's impressive.
That was melon.
How'd you know?
Wow. I can barely see your mouth, too, so I don't know.
Are you psychic?
I think I might be. Only for those two words. Only for watermelon and watermelon.
Watermelon.
Let me ring up that watermelon for you. I think you meant to say watermelon, ma'am.
Watermelon. Kind of changing the subject here. Recently, I was thinking about stand-up comedy and how I would like to give it a shot in front of like a small group.
I just wrote a joke the other day. I forgot to write it down. Though.
Me too. And I had like a good premise. And I fucking can't remember it. Rule number 1, dude. You always write that shit down.
I've got like a binder like this thick of jokes if you ever want to go through some and write them and fix them up.
That'd be thievery.
No, when I'm giving them to you. We could be writing partners.
Like the jokes, I feel like if I was a stand-up comedian, my jokes, one of my first jokes would be about toilet paper. Because it's honestly like gold in this household. And I don't know how. I buy the jumbo toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
And the other day I was down to 2 rolls of the jumbo toilet paper, which is supposed to be like, equivalent to
6 rolls.
To 4 or 6 rolls. And they're gone. And I can only recall I had a few times that I used it. Where did it all go?
I think humans, I think that we've evolved to use more toilet paper because we now get bigger rolls, but we're still buying the same amount.
Mm-hmm. You're still paying for the same amount.
Our shits have become messier in the long run. Maybe it's the food we eat. Maybe it's McDonald's.
I haven't had McDonald's this year. 16 days. Sober free of McDonald's, I think.
And I even tried to tempt you when I came over here.
I said, nah, bitch.
Fuck McDonald's.
No, I was just trying to eat better again.
I had a sketch premise that I should run, that I thought was, for some reason, I was, how Britain and Ireland are close to each other, kind of,
I guess.
I always thought they were far from each other. I don't know, but I'm bad at geography. But I was recently seen a map for the first time in my life, and they're kind of close to each other. And I was thinking that it might be. And don't judge me, people. I feel your judgment. It's rough. I came up with it on the way over here. The idea of an island that can see a coast like a mile away or whatever. You can see the coast, but they haven't evolved in a way that they can figure out how to make boats or swim. So they're just I just imagine them going standing on the coast, waving their arms and going, "No, has anybody heard you yet today, Jim? No one's heard me yet today. What about research and development? How's it coming with the device to get across the thing?" And it just shows a guy throwing a rock, still sinking. I don't know why, but that seems that's so funny to me.
It'd be weird to decide what you think is going to be funny for other people.
I've tried.
I'm not good at formulating jokes, at creating humor.
Me neither.
If we're I'm more if I crack a joke.
Are you a storyteller, or do you want to do one-liners? That's a big decision to make. I told stories.
I don't really like one-liners too much. Mitch Hedberg was pretty good at that.
The joke I came up with the other day was like a one-liner, and I have only written a few in my life. I gave the other ones that I gave to Andy Starr because he liked to do. He always wanted to be like a machine gun.
That's a name of a famous person, Andy Starr.
Right?
I remember we picked him up at the airport one time.
Yeah.
Before we saw Daniel Tosh.
Yep. He was hilarious. Andy was hilarious, and he went. He told me the first time that he went and did stand up. The first gag that he did was he went out and he had his notebook or whatever, and he put it on the stool specifically so it would fall, and it fell. And then when he went to bend over and pick it up, he had half of it. He cracked. He gave the audience a look at his ass crack. So he played the clumsy
Classic.
guy. Maybe that's not funny to you guys, but I've knowing Andy, I thought that was hilarious because I know how he could sell it.
Are you eating more ramen?
Nice catch.
She almost tipped her ramen.
Yeah, your harsh judgment almost tipped her ramen all over the floor.
I'm sorry.
Sounds like it. A lot of tension. A lot of tension
in the room. Yeah. I don't know. Here's another David Duchovny song.
So what?
A little more upbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I got an email. Yeah,
That sounds like David Duchovny.
a little bit. He's got to have like one song about aliens. I feel like he's gotta.
Well, I think that, and this comes right back to the stand-up thing you were talking about. Same thing with musicianship is you have to, like when you make content, same thing with this. You just have to not care if, like if you spend your time caring like, oh, well, I need to make a joke that everybody's going to think is funny or a song that everybody thinks is going to think is good. You just need to express yourself and in that way, whether it's through humor or through music or through podcasting or whatever. And the people that don't like it, they can flip the station, they can leave the arena.
They can fuck themselves.
Yeah. And they can fuck themselves.
I don't know that I'm expressing myself much. I don't know why I have a compulsion to do or a need to do podcasts, but I do. I like to talk. I like to record it. I used to be in radio. That's probably why. I've always liked radio. And I still like it.
Yeah. I like to talk. I like to ask people questions, listen to their answers. I like to have people listen to me while I do that.
Have you ever asked me a question, or like really like a deep rooted question? Ask me like a deep thought question. There should be a new segment, Dudes with Brews, deep thought questions.
Deep thought question. All right.
We kind of did it with like the invisibility or flight or whatever the fuck the box
question
thing.
Yeah. If you could, if you could do one thing with no repercussions, no whatever. Whether it's, I mean, this is anything from, you can get a house, you can go travel somewhere, you can see the bottom of the ocean, anything. And there's no repercussions, there's no financial thing, there's no anything.
It would be like the perfect situation, essentially, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to know what it feels like to walk into a room or on a stage or anywhere, just have everybody cheer for me.
You never had that happen?
No. Who has?
I feel like I've even had that happen.
You walk in and everyone just...
I guess not after I gave like the speech or something. You get... You crave adoration, huh?
I got problems.
Do you yearn for it?
What's the
Do you dream about it?
No. I don't.
Does it motivate everything you do?
No, not at all. I just like...
That's your one thing?
So I interviewed Drew Lynch one time, and like before I interviewed him, I rewatched his America's Got Talent audition, and he got the golden buzzer from Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
And like when I watch the golden buzzer moments, like I get choked up because they're all like, holy fuck. Like a dream, like the idea of a dream has come true.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And I feel like I think a cool thing would happen. All of a sudden, all right, so picture this. Someone's in the crowd, all right? The lights dim, and you hear a Dudes with Brews intro, and then you and me walk onto the stage.
I don't know why I'm there, but
then because you're always on the show. And then people are excited, and then all of a sudden I get on the mic and I say, craft brews and casual conversations. My name is Drew. My with me is Rob. We're drinking an IPA. This is Dudes with Brews and Porch, and everyone's like, ah!
I mean, yeah,
I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
I thought it was a little ironic that if that's what your one thing is, you picked radio and podcasting is the one medium where you have no like. I'm gonna go into a medium where there's no live audience for a long.
There's plenty of live audiences, dude.
You can get a live audience, but you got to get somewhere first.
Yeah, like
I mean, that dream can come true.
My favorite murder is in Milwaukee. They're doing shows at the fucking Pabst Theater.
Yeah, the Dollop came around here. Harmontown was in Madison.
Yeah. How do we get there?
Well, every podcast really gets to this point where they start touring, but you need to get enough advertisers.
How much vacation you got left? Let's do this. How much vacation time you got?
I've got 2 full weeks
Left?
set. No, yeah, I've got 2.5 weeks left set up.
Okay.
But so I can't move them. But I've got 9 days off in July and then 9 days off in.
Well, why don't we just go to like breweries and do this? Take the show on the road.
Because the field recorder. Well, now you probably wouldn't need to.
You just bring this stuff.
Yeah, my brother's got everything too. That
You can be our sound guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what my like.
That is one way to get your name out there, is to just go and do like do a tour of not necessarily huge venues, but venues enough where it's like, because even at like when Harmontown, like granted that's in like a city where in bigger cities people like go, oh, let's do something tonight, and they'll just go to a theater, and they, even if they don't know, like he would go, does anybody know what Harmontown is, or did you just come in here because you heard that there was something going on? And there's always some people that just came in because they don't, like, they just
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I would, if you invited me, I would be there with you.
I just think, yeah, that would be if I get no repercussions or whatever, and I could make like the perfect situation happen. That's probably what I would do. To be honest.
See, that's very telling.
Is it? What would your therapist think about that?
I think I think she would probably say something. I don't know what she would say to you, because me and you are different. No, it's very, that's like a it's a very human thing to want to be, to feel like
loved.
And there's a whole, I mean, you can really argue that any musician, or really a lot of musicians, a lot of actors, a lot of just any public persona, that's what they like. That's what they need.
You think that's what David Duchovny wants?
He wants validation, I think, for
for his work.
Yeah.
You want to go see David Duchovny? Is he going on tour?
I would.
Should we check?
I would love to see David Duchovny. I mean, David Duchovny really, he's like more in shape and just tonally and more beautiful than a 25-year-old. That's one situation where if like, there's like a 22, 23-year-old girl that was like, oh, I'm in love with David Duchovny, and I would be, that's not weird. It's not weird. That's not a daddy issue. That's not whatever.
Well, I can tell you he's playing Moscow in Russia, February 7th. Damn. Looks like he is not going to be in the country for a little bit. He's going to play in Budapest. He's going to play in Vienna, Warsaw, Berlin, place I can't pronounce, Manchester, Dublin, London. Jeez.
He just he's bringing it to all the people.
Fucking dude, it's everywhere. So now we got to get a regular passport and go travel.
Yeah, right. Think they take our pop passport at the
I don't think so at the airport.
Oh, that sucks. Well, it's tight security now.
I see you went to Lakefront Brewery, but we still can't let you go to Moscow. Sorry.
This is quite impressive how many places you've drank beer, but that's just not...
Where did you get these? Oh, well, we actually got them at hoppassport.com. Oh, really? How much they are?
There'd be a federal case there.
It's about $25, but if you use promo code dudes with brews at checkout, you save $5. Wow. Yeah, you can't get on the plane, but thank you.
Just $5, so that's 25% you save? That's amazing.
Yeah, if you do some quick math, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. Like, because I guess, like, for me, I would want to do something like get into the Pentagon paper, like get in. I really, you know what I'd want to do?
Area 51 would be pretty sweet to check out.
I want to get into the sealed files at the Vatican, and be able to read them.
You want to know that stuff?
Yes, absolutely.
You might not be able to sleep
at
night.
I want to know. I can't sleep at night already.
Because there's a ghost rock in your bed?
No, because I work.
Oh, me too.
No, the ghost rocking my bed when I try to sleep helps.
That's an unusual thing to say. I don't think most people are like, well, what happens if you sleep at night? Well, the ghost rocks me to sleep, rubs my back, whispers sweet nothings in my ear.
It's called being lonely.
I'm dead. You're lonely?
I'm very lonely.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know what makes me feel less lonely?
Ghosts.
PineappleMango IPA from the Brewing Projeckt. Project is spelled
David Duchovny. and a nice
PROJ.
a heating pad,
PC.
a big body pillow,
JT.
and David Duchovny on the TV puts me right to sleep.
If there was a streaming service that was like you had to pick, like, get rid of Hulu or get rid of Netflix, but you have access to 100% of David Duchovny's catalog.
Yes.
Yes, he says. I think so. There was a movie that he was in that I watched, and it was really unusual. It was like his wife died or something like that, and then like, but it was like was it his wife? But reincarnated in like his daughter's body.
Yeah,
or
The Secret or something like that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's an unusual movie.
That's one of those movies I was trying to think about before. Because I bought 4 movies that had David Duchovny in them without even reading the back. I was just like, David Duchovny, yes.
And like,
and they were all good.
there's a one part where like she like tries to like.
Yeah, she's trying to rape her dad, but it's really his wife. And he's like, I can't. I know it's you. I know you're my wife, but you're still in my daughter's body. And she's like, I don't care if this makes you uncomfortable. I need that David Duchovny dick.
Oh,
I mean, that's what it was. I'm not lying to you people.
I don't think the line in the movie was that particular, but yeah, along the lines of that, for sure.
You know, maybe that's just what I was thinking. I don't know, but it was along those lines.
I think now it's.
I mean, I'm not gay, but I want to snuggle with David Duchovny. I just want to be the little spoon.
He was on an episode of WTF with Mark Maron. Pretty interesting. It's a good
I think I listened to that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Mark Maron.
The dude's the man.
But I
love
listen to the people that I want to hear.
Yeah, I feel like that's what you do with every like podcast that has like that just interviews celebrities. You're gonna listen to the ones that you want to listen to.
Well, when
like,
I listen to this show, I Drew is the celebrity that I want to hear, so I listen to every single one.
By any means, but yeah, David Duchovny is the
More
man.
people know you than me.
I don't know, maybe.
You're world famous, man. You're world known. You maybe let's not go as far as famous, but you're world known.
World known. People recognize my voice, know what I look like because of some pictures on Instagram.
You know, someday you might be on an animated movie because of this.
Animated movie?
Yeah, because your voice is recognizable.
That would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
If anyone out there in Hollywood or whatever wants to hook me up in some voice acting, I'll do it. I'll do it. I can act the shit out of my voice.
And I'll tell you from experience, he likes his craft services to be fresh. He wants his fresh salad, but otherwise he's easy to work with.
Did you know that David Duchovny wrote House of D?
I've not seen that movie, so I do want to.
He also wrote Dr. Katz, Professional Therapist.
Huh.
7 out of 10 on IMDb. By working through problems stemming from his past, Tom Warshaw, an American artist living in Paris, begins to discover who he really is. Yeah, burp. Sorry. And returns to his home to reconcile with his family and friends. It features Robin Williams is in this movie. Crazy. Oh, I'll have to check that out. This is from 2004. That's pretty old. Anton Yelchin. I don't know who the fuck that is. Taya Leone.
Oh yeah, she's. I know who that is. Tia Leone.
I'm gonna see who his one wife was.
Well, that in that episode with the vampires of this is one thing. If somebody said to you, "What's one thing that you don't like that David Duchovny did?"
I thought The Secret was kind of weird.
I would say, well, for me, I would say it is the fact that he got his girlfriend a job on the episode.
Tia Leone. He was married to her. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, sure. Yep. He was married to Tia Leone?
I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. That makes me see everything, almost everything I learned. I would say 99.9%, because this is the one thing that I learned that I was a little disappointed in, was that on that episode of X-Files, he got his girlfriend a job, and you could tell they weren't going to get married. There was no chemistry. It was if you had to say, like, bad episode of X-Files, that was one of them. And it wasn't David's fault. It was that girl's fault.
He was married.
She clearly just wanted him because he was David Duchovny, but he was
married
so
to Taya from 1997 to 2014.
See, that's I love to see Hollywood. I know that that's still a divorce or whatever, but still,
a long marriage.
For somebody to be married for over 2 years in Hollywood is a feat, and I respect them that they actually can make it work for as long as they did. I mean, I know that a lot of people are, it's like marriage should be forever, or it's but I don't know why in Hollywood it seems to be so hard, but 2 years is really like the max that you see. So when you see somebody married for that long, they probably, it's an honorable mention. It's worth mentioning. How tall is David Duchovny? I think he's like 6'2", 6'3".
How tall is David Duchovny? Hey, I didn't even have to he's 6 foot.
He's only 6 foot?
Mm-hmm.
He's only got 2 inches on me? That means I could almost see eye to eye with him into his beautiful eyes.
How old is he? He's only 58. I thought he was 60.
I thought he was well, that's close. If I had to pick between his his 20s abs, 30s abs, 40s abs, or 50s abs, I think I'd go with his 50s abs. I mean, this guy, he's got
What should the name of this episode be?
David Duchovny's 50s abs.
I think I might do that. Something with David Duchovny. Obviously, he was definitely the premise of the show. Rob, we've reached.
Are we there at the end already?
We're close. Just think about
talking about David Duchovny makes time fly.
You think you sit on the couch with a friend and a beer, and your wife is sitting next to you, and you're all just thinking about David Duchovny. I actually think the way to the future is just reminisce about David Duchovny and all of his work, past and present.
Yeah, I think the answer to all of our problems, the solution to all of our mistakes, is in the work and words of David Duchovny
and collections of David Duchovny.
And anything he hasn't said or did that will tell us the answers. Clearly, you just have to gaze into his deep, beautiful eyes.
He has done some great interviews on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He's on WTF. He's probably been on the Nerdist podcast, or if you want to call it ID10T, though I'm going to admit it's not the same as it once was because the whole allegation things, I think he Chris Hardwick has lost some confidence, if you want to say that. Which
is ridiculous. He shouldn't, but I'm going to say this.
We're not going to talk about that. We're talking about David Duchovny.
Yeah, I'm going to say David Duchovny. He's in a top tier of not just actors, human beings,
Americans, Homo sapiens. And
another person I'll put in that category is John Hamm.
I don't know much about John Hamm.
They're great actors. Tag. They're hilarious and insightful in their interviews. They everything they do turns to gold. I don't think John Hamm has as good of a voice or guitar playing ability. So I mean, and obviously David Duchovny's head and shoulders above everybody. But
I think my wife should take a picture for our Instagram, a candid picture of us recording, talking about David Duchovny. Snap a pic, baby.
And if you're listening, which I know you are, David, you may only be 6 feet tall, but you're 10 foot tall in my heart.
And you can be nothing.
No, you will be everything.
When I dream a good dream, David Duchovny is a part of it. When I have nightmares, David Duchovny saves me. When I have bad days, I just listen to his sweet golden voice and guitar serenade me, even though I've only really listened to 30 seconds of 2 songs. But I knew it happened. I knew it was around, and I knew it would be nothing but the purest form of musical fusion, creation, and just
human ability.
Just human ability. The man does no harm. Even when he's done harm,
no harm.
It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, when other people look up into the sky for extraterrestrials, I look up into the sky for David Duchovny, and I know he's looking up into the same sky that I am,
there's times where I know I'm looking at the moon, David Duchovny's looking at the moon, and just for 1 minute, even for a remote second, we are united. And that 1 second fuels each and every day of my existence. Before I knew who David Duchovny was, I was just living for the day that I discover David Duchovny.
Yep.
And since my discovery of David Duchovny, I now live to continue the love and respect of David Duchovny.
Yeah, when I'm sad, I think the thought that pulls me out of my depression is the sun warms me and David Duchovny, so we are connected.
If David Duchovny were toilet water and I was on a desert island and there was a turd floating in the top of that toilet water, I would drink it.
If David Duchovny was toilet water and I had a faucet that worked perfectly next to me, I'd drink it.
If David Duchovny...
This could have been the whole hour.
If David Duchovny were to take form of my world's most hated person, my biggest enemy, I would
Paint yourself in a corner?
Forgive them.
With your heart?
Yeah. If David Duchovny told me that he would protect me even if I jumped out of an airplane with no parachute, he wouldn't guarantee how I would be safe, I would do it. I would jump out of that airplane. So
if I was dating a man and that man hurt me so much that I closed my heart off to love and shut myself out of other people's life, and I was vowed to never make a connection with anybody again, and David Duchovny walked into the room, that shield would melt, and that connection, he would restore my faith in being homosexual. He restores my faith in humanity.
If I were Lord Voldemort and David Duchovny was Harry Potter, I would just stop what I'm doing.
I'll do you one better. If
Okay.
I was Harry Potter and David Duchovny was Lord Voldemort, I would say his name.
Oh, gee. Oh, man. If a voice came overhead and told me that I needed to sacrifice one of my closest family members, and that voice was David Duchovny, I would listen.
Yeah. I would.
That'd be hard, but I gotta do what's right for David.
Yeah, well, if David Duchovny talked to me from the heavens and said, we should all be circumcised, I would circumcise myself on the spot with my teeth. Wow. Yes, I can do that.
Huh. We learned a couple things about Robert in that phrase. We drank PineappleMango IPA from the Brewing Project in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. How we end things is we leave you with, do we drink the beer or do we dump it? I 110%, just like my love for David Duchovny, I drink it.
I drink this beer. I drink in David Duchovny. I would say the best thing you can do is this beer is great for sitting around and talking about your favorite David Duchovny anecdotes. And clearly, it's just a great beer to drink and have a good time with your friends.
But it's a million times better if the thought of David Duchovny is present in your mind while the beer hits your taste buds, which should be in form of David Duchovny. It's just pure ecstasy.
Yeah, some wines go good with salad, some beers go good with food. This beer goes great with David Duchovny, as do all beers, all drinks, all foods, and all everything.
This breath of air that I just took, it was just that more refreshing, knowing David Duchovny somehow is with me.
Yeah. David Duchovny exhaled in this direction, which caused the wind that caused, it's called the David Duchovny effect. And it's love.
Pure, 100% unadulterated love. David, we drink for you. We drink with you. We are one with you. Come on the podcast and we'll come our pants. I mean, what?
Yeah. And we'll, yeah.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Pew pew audio. Goodbye, everyone.